Schizophrenia is often incorrectly used interchangeably with multiple personality disorder or bipolar disorder, but while it may share some symptoms, it is a completely separate disorder. The most noticeable symptoms which present during the active phase include confused and disorganized thoughts, excessive or useless movements, disordered or jumbled speech, hallucinations, and delusions which persist even when presented with evidence to the contrary. Several famous figures were diagnosed with schizophrenia. Edward Einstein, son of Albert Einstein, showed signs early in his childhood, which greatly concerned his father. He went on to be institutionalized during college and spent the rest of his life in various facilities before his death at 55. Syd Barrett, Jack Kerouac, and Vincent van Gogh, the latter having conflicting diagnoses of bipolar and schizophrenia, are just a few of the more well-known names, although most of them had their lives cut relatively short. This is not uncommon, as the stress alone from this illness can shorten the lifespan, and many attempts to self-medicate with drugs and alcohol. In this video, we see a patient who has been hospitalized after serving a prison term. The psychiatrist will be questioning him about his delusions, but as you will see, even though he is disjointed and agitated, he remains adamant about his fixation.
There are two communications. This is what I mean when I say two. You get a better picture of what I mean. I guess this means two. Well, I see that there type of communication like that. And I don't acknowledge that type of communication like that. You know, I don't respond to it. And I see other people who are communicating with that type of communication, and they respond to each other. Well, there will come out words, negative or positive, in reference to how many fingers are being held up or something of that nature. And I don't respond to that because that type of communication I find non-responsive. I have a complete negative attitude toward that.
The patient keeps using the same words, in slightly different arrangements. He believes himself to be clear and descriptive, unaware that no one else can see the coded messages that are so obvious to him.
Now, if people resent when they assign me like that, when it seems like I'm supposed, well, when it's obvious I'm supposed to respond positively and I give a negative reaction because I don't accept that type of communication as a means of communication, due to the fact that I don't understand it completely.
What kinds of problems were you having then? What kinds of problems brought you to this hospital?
And like I said, I cannot respond positively to two. I will not respond positively to two, and I'm not going to, under no circumstances.
Why not?
Because I associate the number two with homosexual and lesbian activities, and if that's what it is and that's what I think it is, then I'm not going to have nothing to do with it.
He is fixated on homosexuality and lesbianism. While a schizophrenic can fixate on any subject without any real reason, in this case there is the possibility he may be trying to suppress his own attractions, unconsciously resenting anyone who may feel free to express them.
How do you know that two fingers means homosexuals or lesbianism?
Because from my analysis of watching these people communicate.
Which people?
People, all kinds of people. People around here, people in this community, they acknowledge the number two to be homosexual and lesbians. And when I can analyze their practices over a period of time, that's the conclusion that I reach. This is the most conclusive conclusion I could reach.
So you think the homosexuals and lesbians walk around the streets going like this?
Yes. Yes, with the right hand. That signifies homosexual and lesbian activities. Lesbian is the same as a homosexual, you know, because she wouldn't be a lesbian if some homosexual hadn't misused her.
What do you think they're communicating when they do this? What do you think it means?
That they will participate, if the time and the place are right, in these types of activities. If they're alone together, something of that nature, they would probably make a date if they found each other attractive.
You feel that people have come up to you and done this, the two fingers?
Well, they do this all around me. Well, the first thing I notice as a rule when they approach me, see, I'll watch their hands, and usually that'll tip the indication off.
Meaningless gestures are assigned a code, which helps feed his paranoia. Each time someone does something as trivial as push up their glasses using 2 fingers, it reinforces the belief that he is interpreting deeper meaning and that he is surrounded. In another case study, a man named Ken believed that anyone who kicked their foot out behind them was signaling that they were going to kill them, or that he was marked for death. He claimed to get threatening calls, and even when there was no one on the other line, he considered it a threat against him. He was convinced that the CIA or another branch of the government was behind the conspiracy. And in yet another instance, an unnamed patient believed that anyone who wore a red tie was a communist agent that was going to kill him. These examples reinforce how someone with schizophrenia can take the most innocent, everyday actions and see them as a personal attack. This, of course, can make life terrifying for them and almost impossible to navigate for their loved ones, who may not be able to recognize that they are doing anything to trigger a delusion.
How long do they do it?
Well, they move their fingers like that, and sometimes they do it without knowing it. Well, no sooner do I see them coming like that, and I am gone. I am going somewhere else. I do not want to be involved with that type of person, because homosexual is homicidal.
His connection between homosexual and homicidal is of interest because it seems to be right on the edge of clang association. Clang association is defined by using words that either rhyme or have similar sound together, even though there is no logical reason for them to be grouped together. For instance, someone with this disorder might associate the word sad with any other word with the S sound, regardless of its meaning.
Oh, it is?
Why, definitely it is.
Why do you say that?
Because it's a deviated mind. A homosexual is the nearest thing to homicidal that you will find, as far as I'm concerned.
How long have these sorts of things been bothering you intensely?
It's hard for me to find somebody to...
How long, though? About 2 weeks?
Oh, no, this has been going on for the last 20 months, to see, but the reason I was going with this girl. She had only one arm, her left arm. So I couldn't tell her communication like that at first. But now that I have analyzed her activities and such, I find that she has been involved. See, I've watched people respond to her communications like that, and because she has trouble communicating with her right arm, you see, I really didn't know.
I thought she only had one arm.
Oh, she has one arm, the other is crippled. See, what the deal is she has been active in this. And now she can get on my frequency when she wants to. You see, all you see is Continentals and Gremlins, because her mother and father drives Continentals, she drives a Gremlin, and I started having psychotic problems like that.
And you feel like you're stuck in the middle.
I see it all around me. That's my problem. See, I see it. I don't know which way to turn. You know what I mean? I see it here.